Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Katuma Gola Latif, and I'm going to discuss reasons for business failures. This topic, I've selected it because as we are discussing insolvency law, we have to address the problem, business failure. Because from the business failure, that's where we get insolvency. Businesses fall out. So, of course, we can discuss this for the entire day. However, you have to bear in mind that there are very many inevitable circumstances that can lead to a failure of a business. But studies and research has showed that there are also those basics that if you're not carrying them out appropriately, a business is leading itself to doom. So let's look at those checks where we can see and really witness that indeed a business is going to fall or is going to go to bankruptcy. First is the most pertinent step that leads to success or failure of a business. This is management. Where there is poor management, a business lags behind and of course can lead to bankruptcy or insolvency. Then where there is good management, of course, in most cases you can see all those unforeseeable circumstances or all those shocks that may come into the business which may lead to failure. And if you are ready and you are already warned, already you are armed and you can fight such unforeseeable circumstances. Then the other is initial capitalization. Of course, this is a major problem for startups, but even those established businesses are not safe from this aspect, because capitalization is key for the success of a business. It is what you input that brings out the output. The moment the input is cut short, it means the output won't have a consequence because there is no production. So, where there is inappropriate initial capitalization, like for example startups, you can't push your business from the initial stage to its mature level where it is going to begin accumulating profits. Of course, the business is going to go to insolvency. You can't begin running before even you start walking or even crawling. Every business is like a child, it has to be nurtured. And the moment you have no push or capital to see you through all that stage as you gain leverage in the market, it is failure. The other is accounting systems. Accounting is very key in a business because you are looking at the linkages and inflows of money. The moment you can't handle the leakages where you're losing money in a business and you can't track down these leakages in the business, and also the inflows, if you are not even regulating your inflows, you don't know where the money is coming from, it is highly probable that you may be cheated or you may fail to account when even the taxman comes to your door. And this can lead to a failure because you don't know where you are standing, you don't know your strength, you don't know your weakness, you don't know where you're supposed to concentrate, you don't know which commodity you have to really concentrate on in order to gain more profits, because you don't know where the money is coming from in your business. It is one of the reasons, and it is one of the signs that someone is not keeping books of account and is not, of course, looking at the cash flow in their businesses. And that inadequate accounting system or improper accounting systems can lead to the failure of a business. Then let's look at provision of contingencies. With contingencies, I mean what we expect from a business when we do something. These are risk-taking occurrences. Of course, risks are good in business. The more risks you take, the more gain. However, you have to be with an informed contingency in order to take a risk. For example, if you're taking a loan and the interest rates are high, do you feel like these interest rates can be covered by, or the debt can be covered by the product or the value you give in your business by this loan you are getting, the moment you don't know how to leverage this, the provision and contingencies, your business is going to fail. And most people, they just borrow without picking out what the borrowing is going to help in the business. The other aspect is up-to-date costing systems. Yeah, in most cases we have inaccurate up-to-date costing systems. Costing systems, I mean, how we are going to determine the expenditures in a business. So here I'm going to talk about majorly labor. The moment the people you are employing are more than what you need, it's overstaffing, and you are causing a lot of cost in your input. That means in your production you are causing a lot of inputs, a lot of costs, which is going to lead to a shock when you go to the output or when you're putting a price, your commodities you're producing. The moment you don't know how to give an appropriate price that is going to compete in a market, your business is going to fail. And that you don't even need to know a rocket science to see this. Then we have credit controls. Of course, with credit control systems, it is just similar to the contingencies. But what is different here is how we are going to direct our resources in our business after getting credits. Most people don't know that, because after getting a loan of 6 million in your business, which is a small business, instead of securing this loan and buying the commodities that are going to be most pertinent in the market you are serving, most people begin doing things that are not connected to the business, and this leads to failures. Instead of buying commodities and restocking your shop, you are moving to a new area or a new shop which is having maybe a larger premise. It may be good, but for that particular moment, you don't need to change location or to get to a larger room. What you need is restocking. The moment you have improper systems in your credit controls, that means the business is doomed. Then let's look at the checks of fraud and theft. Most cases, there are some instances where you may be a victim to theft or robbery, or you may be a victim to fraud. Fraud in most cases is because of improper account keeping or bookkeeping. But theft, it is beyond our control sometimes. However, we can also look at other instances, like we bring up insurance so that we can secure our businesses when we get to such extreme circumstances. That's what I'm saying. The moment you have proper management, you can know in the area I'm living, I'm at a risk of this, and you begin putting on safeguards. So with that, I believe a business can set off or a business can fail. Colleagues, no one wants their business to fail, but we find ourselves falling victim. And in this circumstance, we have to look at very many ways of avoiding failure. For example, if you're having a small business, which is a startup, most youth in Uganda are setting up those businesses. You have to have a business model. In this business model, I mean, you have something, or you have a value, and this value is a solution to a problem existing in the market. If the market is having a problem, you get something which is a solution, and that solution is of value. That means it can be added to a price, so that you can create a business that is not going to constrain you to get customers or to compete, because you're living in a capitalistic economy. So if your business can't address any problem in your area or in your market, and it's not adding value to the real value which is existing in the market, it means you're not doing what is supposed to be done. Some people have destructive business models. They come to market and they set new trends. They begin to do something, and they be the leaders in it. For example, let me talk about Facebook. Facebook was a destructive business model. Bring up a social media platform. What was the problem? The problem was connecting people. These were college students who felt like after leaving college, they didn't have connections to each other. Most of them parted ways and never met again. And someone looked at this problem and said, no, can't I create a solution to this problem where I can reconnect people, bring people together, friends together, and these friends can continue contacting each other. That's the solution. And attaching value. Of course, value, at first value, you see people buying airtime to call what, but for you, what you want is creating a platform that is large enough. So for him, he said, no, the value I have to attach on Facebook is not supposed to pay, not supposed to be payment to be on a Facebook platform. It has to be free. Let more people come because I want people. The more numbers, the more we solve the problem of people failing to meet each other. And when it became free, people entered, people were entertained. But the value he added to the ads or advertisements. The moment advertisements started coming up, those ads you see on Facebook, that's where they began getting the value, the money. So this was a destructive business model. That's why right now he's a billionaire. That's how business works. Seeing a problem, creating a solution, and attaching value to that solution so that you can get money. Thank you very much. We shall discuss further.